Hey guys, today it's all about top questions to ask to a trichologist for healthier hair and scalp. With that and more, here at the Hair Wire. And welcome, guys. Welcome to another edition of the Hair Wire, the place where you get hair smart. I'm your host, Sergio Cardona, alongside with Kerry Jarrett and Bisan Dipsy. How you guys are doing today?
Good,
Doing
good, good.
great. Yeah. I had
Excited?
I have to
It's
say
exciting.
I have to tell you guys I did yesterday. I had a fun afternoon. I actually was my son's career fair at his junior high school.
Hey.
And I had so many kids ask me about trichology, and I was giving them a history about trichology and asking
Oh,
questions like what's the number root cause of hair loss. Oh, they were so engaged. I actually had two young men come and ask me like, "How do we get into this? How did?" So, yeah, it was really
love
rewarding.
it.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice. I really
Trichology is
like
the
that.
future.
yeah.
You know, I did the same. I did my science fair when I was back in high school about trichology. So yeah, and
Wow.
so did my sister before me, and that's where I got the idea. So yeah, definitely it's it's a showstopper whenever we talk about trichology in a science fair. It is amazing. So definitely something to look forward to, and definitely related to what we're gonna talk today, because today we're gonna be asking questions, the top questions that everyone is asking about hair care and about, of course, about the health of our scalp. Now, we have a whole bunch of questions, guys. So I hope that you guys are tuning in. And if you have questions, please bring them on, because we definitely want to answer those questions for you. And we definitely want to know what people needs are right now around the world. So let's get started with this. Carrie, walk us through it.
All right. So the first question we have here is, what is the underlying issue that causes for my hair and scalp issue? Or let's rephrase that. Here, let me go again. What is the underlying cause of my hair and scalp issue?
Okay, I
This
can
want to take
start.
this one?
Yep, I can start. Of course, that's my favorite question, actually. So, as we know that trichology, as I call it, is the mother of all biologies, because whatever happens, slight change in your body system, it will affect directly your hair growth cycle. So, and like whenever you see a hair loss, it's a sign that something going on inside your body. That's why it's great to go dig deep, find the root cause for what causing your hair loss or scalp disorder. Then and the solution is not always from inside, sorry, from outside. It has to be from inside and outside. So basically, when you ask yourself what is causing my hair loss, thing is the first one you have to think about is go back 3 months or 4 months and ask yourself what change it happened at that time. Is it a diet change? Is it environmental change? Something like, do you have a traumatic event that happened that time? Change of work environment? Any of the change, start there. This is your starting point. After you start there, go through the 4 months and see the changes, the biological changes that happen to your system. Because and after any significant change in your environment, that's going to shock your body. And if you are starting from a weak point, if you're starting from a weak immunity, for example, or any blood disorder, or any or you're dealing with autoimmunity, or anything you're dealing with, it's going to amplify for the next 4 months when your body system has been shocked. And go through these 4 months. What kind of feelings did your sleep change? Did your food intake change? Do you rather eat carbs rather eat protein? Is your workout protein change? Do you feel weaker? Ask yourself all these questions, and you can, by asking yourself all these questions, you can actually start pinpointing where the trigger is, because some trigger somewhere happened over this period of time, triggered your hair loss.
Now, I
And then
can't stress this enough. I'm going to throw this in there. Understanding the root cause is crucial for effective treatment. You can't
exactly
have a treatment without finding out the root cause.
100%.
Yeah, and that's what the San's trying to explain is getting to the root cause of it all and finding out what triggered it, what caused that.
And let me say that again one more time. People always ask on on Facebook groups, right, Sergio? Like, how I'm gonna find it? Believe me, it's simple and easy. It's just when you are under pressure, you get so overwhelmed, right? Step back, go back, let's write it down on a paper and a pen. What happened, and your train of thought will get it to you eventually.
Definitely.
100%. All right, next question. What diagnostic tests or evaluations do you recommend?
I would like to take this one about diagnostic test and evaluation. For me, one of the most important tests that we can perform, it's what I call a tricho analysis. Now, a tricho analysis is basically a group of tests that a trichologist can perform to help you identify, the root cause of hair loss, what's actually preventing you from growing the hair that you need, and of course, to keep the hair that you have. Now, among this test, I like to include sebum meter. The sebum meter is one simple test that measures the amount of sebum that your scalp is putting out. Another test that I like to use, a pH meter. A pH meter helps us identify pH levels on our scalp. Now, whenever we talk about pH levels, we're talking about how acidic or how alkaline is our environment in our scalp. And this helps you determine a lot of things because of the activity of the microbiome on our scalp. It can alter the pH level. And by that, we can start producing more sebum, toxic sebum, and get more dandruff or even get an infestation of Demodex, Malassezia fur, and even Staphylococcus bacteria upon our scalp. So this type of test definitely helps improve and understand what's happening to our scalp in a very scientific level and guides us through what type of product should we use. For instance, someone who has an alkalinic scalp, we should use acidic shampoos, to counterbalance the process. And if we are using a deep cleansing process, then the pH level is going to go off. So with the proper moisturizer, we can rebalance it. So those are the little details that no one looks forward to, the things that no one thinks of. The most common test that we trichologists use is the trichoscope. We use a scope to analyze the scalp to see the amounts of hair that we have in a certain area, like the one the son has in her hand. Let me show you here. All right, exactly. With that scope, with that device, we can actually help identify how close are the follicles one to another. We can see the thickness of the hair. We can measure how about the lighting of the scope, whether we have inflammation, whether we have toxicity. There are many things that we can look for just by using a scope. And this is just one of the few. I like to use a trichogram, plug in hairs, and from that, I put it on the microscope and check out the form of the hair. I measure the length of the root sheath. I measure the thickness of the hair. I measure if there are incidents on the hair bulb, levels of protein, levels of moisturizers in the hair. There are many things that we can measure doing a tricho analysis. But of course, depending on the expertise of the trichologist, are the tests that are going to be available in that particular clinic. And that is something that I like to know. I like to let people know. Every trichologist is different. And of course, every trichologist will adhere to a certain philosophy. Some trichologists are more into the cosmetic area, while others like to travel more into the medical area, while others like to travel more to the holistic realm. And some of us are more, all of a sudden, all together. We're like hybrids. Like this group right here, besides Gary and myself, we're very hybrid. We like to travel in those realms, in those different areas of trichology, and we navigate them very well. But again, it will depend upon your trichologist, what type of test they have available for you.
All right. Next question. Basan, you're going to like this one. This is
Yeah.
totally up your alley.
Tell me.
All right. How does my diet and nutrition impact my hair and scalp health?
Oh, 99.99%. So yes, any deficiencies, any nutrient deficiencies in your body, any imbalances in your hormones, anything that's going to affect your nutrition status is going to directly affect your hair follicles. Why is that? Because the hair follicles are non-essential tissues to the body. The body do not think about hair follicles as an essential tissues like the heart or the kidneys or the lungs. Whenever any deficiency in your diet plan, in your daily food intake, in a way, it will get, your body will distribute the nutrients to your organs rather than getting it to the secondary or non-essential tissues like your hair follicles. And also our hair itself, it's actually made up of protein. So any decrease in the protein amount in your daily intake, it's going to affect your hair loss and the structure, the integrity of your hair shaft as well. Especially for women, as we age, our protein intake should go up because we will need it more to build up the loss of muscle that we go through because of the hormonal imbalances. It's all a cycle. So basically, if you have any deficiency in your daily intake, you should address it with supplements. First of all, of course, do a blood test to know what kind of supplements you need, because you don't need them all. Everybody is different. Like, the nutrient deficiency is varies, and it varies because of your age, it varies because where you live, it varies because what kind of food you eat, because our soil is different. The soil in America is different than the soil in Canada, is different than the soil in Puerto Rico. So the kind of nutrients, even if me, Sergio, and Kerry were eating chicken every day, that chicken or that vegetables also we put on a plate, the soil has a different nutrients. That's why we three eating the same kind of a plate that day, we will have totally different nutrient values from our food. That's why it's very, very essential that we do a blood test and know what kind of nutrients that we need personally, and customize your supplement intake accordingly. And also, one more thing, women, especially women in our menopause year or perimenopause year, the gut issues skyrocketed because of the hormonal imbalances and the stress that gives our body. Our body is under a lot of stress between 40 and 60 that will compromise our absorption. So whenever I used to eat in my 20s, like 3-4 tomatoes a day, that's not going to give me that same lycopene that if I'm going to eat it right now, because my absorption has been decreased. So take this in mind too. It's not complex at all, but take your age, take your location, what do you eat, examine this, do a blood test. It will tell you exactly what you need, and go forward from there. If you have good nutrition, even if from food or supplements, your hair will be nourished.
I wanted to add into that. We also use the I'm on the test that actually complements what Bis is saying. The epigenetic testing, for instance, that's one of those tests that allows us to not only get a better sense of what's happening on the inside, but to all understand what nutrients need to be optimized. So definitely, that's one of those tests that helps us a lot and gives us an amazing idea, and also gives us a food plan. What nutrients should we eat, what plants, what fruits, what vegetables. That helps us a lot, and to comprehend, of course, what's happening to our customers, to our patients, and to guide them through the proper path.
I want to add one thing here, exactly what Sergio was saying. I had a client and we did the epigenetic testing, and she didn't know why she has all these issues. The epigenetic testing revealed that she has been around a lot of microwave wavelength. Or
Mm.
so I asked her, I never, like, it never occurs to me to ask this question, but now it's on my consultation. How do you heat your food? She's like, I heat it in a microwave every single night.
Huh.
And her epigenetic testing came out like a priority, the microwave what they call it,
The
whatever wave.
wavelength, yeah.
Yeah, these are very high. So I said, well, no microwave from now on. At this point, you're adding toxicity to your body. The balance of your body is off. The nutrients of your food has been damaged because of this microwaving thing. You heat your food in an oven, in a safe glass, like good container in the oven. And she did that for 2 weeks, even because we did a really cleansing protocol, but the cleansing protocol in 2 weeks is not going to be enough. Only because in 2 weeks she stopped microwaving her food, she started to feel better.
It's huge. So
That's
those who
amazing.
don't know, my husband is a trained chef, and that's one thing is he cringes when he has microwaves in our house. We've had forever a toaster oven because you don't want to use the big stove to do all the heating all the time. It's a lot of energy. So we actually, in all of our past houses, we've had a toaster oven instead of the microwave, or a convection toaster oven instead, and it heats the better food. It doesn't make it soggy. And he's very strict. And also my best friend's dad, he worked in radiation stuff. He's super strict. If you ever open the microwave while it's still on, the amount of exposure you get to, a lot of people do. So it'll be like 1 minute and 30 seconds left, and they'll open it up. My husband, if he sees any of us do that, he goes, stop first, push the stop button, clear it, and then open it. You don't open it while it's running. And it's funny, because we moved into a new house just not too long ago too. Well, I guess it's been a little longer now, but we have a microwave because they're built into our house. And right now we're in the process of renovating our kitchen. So he's like, we need to get the convection toaster there. This microwave is driving me crazy. So yeah, it's very, very critical for all of that. So I'm also going to add in there too, I don't know what your guys' insight on this, but I'm in Canada, so a lot of us are all different routes, and we were just talking about our ancestry history before we got on. And I was always raised to eat based on, in most Canadians, we eat based on our ancestral predispositions, and because we're an evolution of who we are. And so a lot of times we'll eat what we've been culturally brought up in. And so in epigenetics, I've also just read a paper about eating 50 to 60% based on your ancestral predispositions, and then 40 to 50% based on your environment where you grow up, because your body is evolving to where your environment is, but your body has already evolved and adapted to eat a certain diet. So me we're Celtic European, so more of that the root vegetables, the high protein, the meats, and the fermented food are really good for me because that's what my ancestors ate a lot of. So if you have a lot of other cultures, like I know my friend, he's Asian, he can't do milk at all, but they didn't have a lot of milk. Correct me if I'm wrong, where his family grew up, and he's like, yeah, we don't drink milk at all. And if he does, he bloats up like a puffer fish. And that's how I was raised here in Canada, is that's how you should be eating. And I know people eat based on your blood type, but even looking at the blood type, I notice a lot of the foods in my blood type, I actually cannot eat. So what is your guys' insight on that? I'd be curious to see what you guys say.
Well, particularly when you go to Dr. Peter J. Diadamo's theory about eating right for your type, he considers the cultural differences. And one of the things that they like to navigate is particularly that, what your ancestors has been eating. Because one thing is what you need to eat because of your blood type, and you need to also correlate that information with what your family has been eating. What your culture eats, because for instance, this week I had a female, she's type A, and she tried to be vegetarian and she couldn't because she loves the meat, and her family eats a lot of meat. And it was funny because not everyone fits into this world, and you have to look about the differences and, of course, the family history. And I said to her, well, you're genetic, you're more prone to be vegetarian, but you have a culture, you have a history, and you have to mix and match both of these worlds into something that works for you. You cannot keep yourself just to a particular type of diet because it is said in some book. No, you have to adapt it to what your needs really are.
Yeah.
We
And
have
let me jump,
uh,
yeah, let me jump on that note too.
true. We got our friend here, Nadia, is saying that I'm a type A.
Me
She's
too.
trying to
I'm
be
a type
vegan, but
A.
yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
It is so difficult. I'm a type A. Let me jump on that. Let me explain your point and Nadia's point at the same time. Like you said, Carrie, we should eat out like kind of what our ancestors eat, because this is where our microbiome, this is how it started. Our microbiome, as we said in previous episodes, that it actually formulate at birth, especially if the baby has been in through the vaginal uh, canal. The baby will actually take the microbiome of the mother.
Mhm.
So whatever the mother microbiome is, that's why it's transgenerational. For example, for me, in all my generation, we eat a lot of legumes, lentils. It's like very the Mediterranean diet is very high in legumes, lentils. We eat that like on breakfast. Even we eat like a bowl of legumes. And all my life, I used to eat all these very fantastic food. It's all good. However, when trauma happens, what happens to your microbiome? It's changed 100%. So it will change 180 degrees actually from eating legumes to not able to be eating legumes. And now in my 40s, I cannot eat legumes anymore because my microbiome cannot take it anymore. My microbiome at one point in my life stopped and altered all the bacteria colonies in it, depending on where I am living right now. And where I am living right now, we are meat eaters. We love eat meat, right? So my microbiome actually, like, how do you say that? Crave for meat. And when I did my blood test in my 40s to see why I feel so good when I eat meat, because I can't eat any more legumes, because apparently I do have sickle cell trait. And people
Interesting.
with sickle cell trait, we have 30% less, our red blood cells carry 30% less oxygen. So we need to strengthen our red blood cells even more by eating red meat.
Meat. Nice.
It's just amazing
Hmm.
how your history, you can see where you came from, how it changed in the middle, and your blood work is all connected.
Yeah.
It's
That's cool.
interesting. And
Very
now,
interesting.
I enjoy my hamburgers. Why not? Here you go.
Yeah.
Though I am type A and I'm not
Eat
supposed to
cow,
eat
eat
meat.
cow, eat cow, eat cow.
Yeah, it's funny how you say that. I remember last year I did that too. I did I did a version of carnivore diet to kind of figure out our blood and stuff. And it was funny. I do blood work every month to 2 months for my blood condition. And the month that I did that diet, my numbers were the best they had ever been. It was high protein, fermented food, red root vegetables, and I thrived. I even lost 18.5 pounds in a month doing nothing and eating tons of meat. And then a couple months later, we decided to try the Mediterranean because my husband on his DNA shows up more of the French Polynesian. So we're like, okay, well, let's try the Mediterranean. Well, my blood work was out of whack. I was so sick. My uric acid, my hematologist called me and Carrie, I don't know what you're doing different, but go back to what you were doing because your numbers are erratic and you're not doing very good right now. Let's switch it back. And I did it for a month and a half, and it goes to show on like how our bodies, how it's not a one size fits all, and not everybody recommends the same thing. It's going to work for everybody. And so knowing your body, your history, it changes everything. So now I focus on a diet that is well balanced between the carnivore and also my Western culture that I live here in Canada too. So, and my numbers now have been impeccable because I know how to eat for my body and for me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very important to understand your body and follow your cues. And it's really not difficult. People think that it's really a difficult thing to do. It's not. You can feel it. You can just, you know how you can feel it slow down. If you're so busy in your head and overwhelmed, you're not going to feel your gut. Just slow down and try to listen to the cues that your body is telling you. After each meal, half an hour to your meal, just slow down and see, did this meal nourish you? Did it give you energy? Even it's the healthiest food on earth. It does not matter. It's how your microbiome is gonna react to this food depending on your microbiome current status.
Listen to your body. This is my favorite one too, is listen to your body. Like, your body knows what it's craving. And it's funny, it's like when I'm craving garlic because I want it, you wouldn't even know I ate it. Or sorry, if I ate it because I want it. So if I ate it because I wanted, you don't want to be near me. I smell, my husband won't sleep in the same bed with me. But if I eat it because I need it and my body is telling me it needs it, I tell you, I could eat 2 full bulbs. You wouldn't even know I ate it.
Nice.
Because I'm listening to my body, so understand craving. So it's fun. I have with the kids now and my husband, we all do it now. We're like, oh, I'm craving strawberries, and I can't crunch that craving. And until I crunch it, why am I craving strawberries so bad? And we'll look up, be like, what is the nutritional value of strawberries, and what are the deficiencies or the symptoms if you're lacking certain nutrients of that specific food? And it's amazing. You're like, wow, oh yeah, I totally fit that. So, be self-aware, stop, be quiet, listen, like Basan said, because, your body knows, and it knows what it needs.
100%.
All right, next question, you guys. All right, let's see. Next question. Are there specific products or ingredients I should avoid or include in my hair care routine?
No, on that question, it would always depend on what are your needs, because the thing is, a lot of people right now, they're asking about, should my shampoos have any sulfate? Is it good? Is it bad? Can I have it? Can I, questions of that nature, particularly. You have to remember that the more chemicals a product has, there's a chance that it may do harm to you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will, because you have to consider, what are we taking in as medicine? A bunch of chemicals. and they will do you good to a certain point, but if you take it without the need of it, it will do harm to your body. So you have to consider that if it's something that is commercially available, naturally it will not harm you until you hit the point where you're taking something that your body rejects.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense in any way,
It makes perfect sense. Can I just say what you said in
Please.
different words? In different words, in a way that I always tell my clients. They tell me, oh, the natural, all the good stuff are very expensive, right? That's their excuse. It's very, very expensive. It's like, okay, got it. It is expensive. I get it. Because they are not the normal. The normal here is in our industry is whatever cheap chemical they can put in a shampoo and sell. I understand that. However, if you start from a good starting point, don't blame the prices, don't blame your toxic environment. We live in a toxic environment. Get over with it, people. We do live in a toxic environment, and we're not getting out of it, and it's not getting any better. It's getting actually worse and worse by the day.
We need to
Okay?
deal with it. We need to deal with
all of our bodies to adapt to it and to live in it. Biohacking.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. This is one of, yeah, exactly. But I always say, do what Carrie was saying. Start with your body. Invest in your own body. Invest in your microbiome. Invest in your immunity. Invest in your peace of mind. Invest in your nervous system. Invest in you and what you want to give and service to others. And this is a really, really good starting point. This is so when toxins come from the environment, you are already shielded. You have the shield to get rid of it. You cannot fight all these toxins if you do not have a good base. And we start gradually, right? You start invest in your body first, then see what is your next option. This shampoo is $100 and this shampoo is $50. Maybe this $50, look at it, see if the ingredients makes more sense to you. If not, go to the $100. If not, go to you know what I mean? You don't get stuck. And oh, this is expensive, I can't do it. Don't get stuck over there. Maybe, for example, I will give one more example before you say. For example, deodorant. For deodorant have a lot of aluminum in it.
Mm-hmm.
We, all of us, tend to have a lot of aluminum in our body because we used to use aluminum pots and we used to have takeouts with aluminum. Aluminum is everywhere. So 95% of the population, the aluminum level is very, very high. right? So when it comes to deodorant, very, very nearby your lymphatic system, very, very nearby the woman breast. One of the causes of women having cancer is aluminum triggered.
Yep.
So I will pay $30 for one deodorant that has no aluminum, and this is a must for me because this is a choice you make.
Yes.
Maybe I don't do that for other products, but this is in particular. So I study what my body has, what is it's funny. You got what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Invest on one thing. I don't care if it's $30 for deodorant and I can buy a deodorant for $2. I don't care because it is targeted to what I am looking for. Make sense?
Yeah,
Yes.
100%. If you know the product and you know what you're investing in, and I always tell people too, like, I only do organic, I only do natural, but because it's natural does not always mean it's safe. Arsenic's natural, latex is natural. Is it always good for me? No, food for thought. Anyways, if you don't know what product to buy, ask the expert. I am a cosmetologist, trichologist, so if you are trying to buy product for your shampoo to help prevent breakage and damage, know your stylist. They're the one that knows your hair best. They're going to know the product that you need. We go deep into this in conversations many on past YouTube videos. Go look it up. We talk in deep about the importance of understanding the products and how to recommend the products. And you know what? Just because it's good doesn't mean like the most expensive also doesn't always mean that it's the greatest product either. I know I'm a wine drinker. I have $20 bottle of wines that taste better than the $200 bottle of wines. It's knowing your product, knowing what the ingredients are, knowing the history, but and then also too, Nadia made a great point. We have no problem investing in $1,000 purse, but when it comes to investing in our own body, you guys, right. Next question here.
Priorities.
Oh, definitely about priorities. I mean, we deal with that with this and every day. We answer thousands of questions, and many of the people that come to us, money is basically an issue, and I can understand. Maybe you don't have the money to spend on a particular treatment, but at the same time, you have to wonder what are your spending habits. Are you making good management of your money? Then you shouldn't be able to have a problem. But if you have money issues, at least stay money wise.
Save your Starbucks
Otherwise,
coffee and buy HSN.
stop overspending on the things that you don't need and start spending on the things that you actually need.
That's very true.
But hey, my 2 cents on the economic side.
All right, next question.
All right.
This is going to be a fun one. What role do stress and lifestyle play in the hair and scalp condition?
I think you should start answering that one because you like that one a lot.
Yes, this is my favorite topic. My background is epigenetics, and your stress factor does contribute to your overall health and well-being, and it's so important to de-stress. We see one of the main causes of hair loss or triggering hair loss or scalp conditions is stress. Now, in epigenetics, we don't look at stress as one thing, because I have a lot of clients come in and be like, I'm losing my hair, but I'm not stressed. Well, we look at 4 factors of stress. We look at intake stress. So anything your body absorbs and consumes could cause stress in your body. For example, if you are eating something you're allergic to, it's going to cause stress on the body. Next one is environmental stress. So everything around you. So the way you perceive the world is kind of that whole Tony Robbins world. So essentially, like if you are stressed about being late for work, or you stressed about bills, or you stressed about money, it's how you perceive the world. That's stress that's going to affect you as well, because a lot of times if we're mentally stressed, it has an effect on your body. Just like if you're nervous or stressed about a new job or losing your job, what often happens, it's all connected. You get a tummy ache, or you get a headache, or you're sick to your stomach, or you don't want to eat. It's all connected. The third stress factor we consider is your physical stress. So physical stress could be not being physically active and get your heart rate up and pumping your blood. It could be having an injury causing stress. For example, stress in your shoulders could cause blockages to sinus, and the sinuses could affect the oxygenation to the rest of the body. That's a stress factor. And the fourth stress factor that we often ignore, I'm a culprit of myself, I'm human, but is those ethics and values that affect you today, or trauma that you haven't addressed. That sits heavy on people too. And sometimes that's going to a psychologist and talking about it, because if we don't address it, what it does, it fosters in our body, creating unhealthy negative ions and positive ions fighting against each other, creating hostility in the body, increasing and decreasing your alkalinity, your alkaline, your acids, all of it. So it's very important that you address and talk and face those skeletons and move forward from them and put them in the past. And I know it's hard. It really is hard. You can hear my voice. I struggle with stuff like that too. But you know what? Trust me, when you get over that hump, life gets a lot better. And it does, and it shows. It shows in your health. It shows in your hair, skin, and nails. It shows in everything, and it affects everybody around you, because there's people that love you and that see you hurting. And if you're hurting, it's often the hurt people that hurt people, or the people that are so hurt that they don't talk, that it has an effect, because there's people that love you, and even though you're not intentionally hurting them, it hurts them to see you that way. So it's critical. So that's the fourth stress factor. So yes, it does have an effect. I know when I'm stressed during exam periods when I was going to school, my hair was super greasy, super oily. It all collates together. Sergio, you're nodding your head. Put your insight in there.
Yeah. The thing is, yesterday I was treating this lady, and she was wondering why she started losing her hair. And, I asked her, when do you start noticing? She says, 2 years ago. Okay. And changes in your life. I said, I'm retired. Okay, when did you retire? 3 years ago. I'm like, Here we go. A lot of retirees do not prepare for retirement. They do. And when they face retirement, they get stressed because they don't know what to do with their free time. They have been this machine, working for years and years and years, and then you suddenly stop, you will get stressed. And she was like, but I don't have any stress in my life. I'm not working anymore. I'm doing all the things that I want. Why am I so stressed? Your body's telling me, and I was looking at the genetic testing. I was looking at the microscope, looking at through the hair, and she was going through a lot of stress in her body, and she couldn't even realize that after she became retired, she was having stress. You believe that?
It's subconsciously. Sometimes we are not aligned with our reality, and the minute we are not aligned, our body doesn't know what to do. So we think like everything looks good. Why I'm stressed out? Because we are not aligned with our truth. Like this lady, she's retired. She's not aligned with accepting the idea that she is not working anymore.
Coping with that idea, it is something. Go ahead, Carrie. Let's move to the next question.
Well, this question goes in line with this, so this is why I want to bring this question up, and I want to answer this one.
Go ahead.
How can I incorporate stress management techniques to improve my hair and scalp health? Good one, eh? All right. So when I tell clients with stress management, it's first out finding out where the stress factor is coming from. Now, so if your body's stressed, finding out the food that's causing the stress. So if it's something that you're eating that's causing the stress, we want to bounce that out and figure out and either stop it or neutralize it. But when it comes to your mental stress or your trauma stress, there's a lot of things that we can do. And that's doing things like, first off, if you know it's something that's really deep rooted, is maybe reaching out to somebody professionally that you could talk to about it and get over that hump. SRT, psychologist, counselor, those people will be the ones that are the experts and able to help you through that situation. But when it comes to everyday stress, we are often doing, and we're in a world where it's so busy, especially in North America, where it's go, 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 go. We don't take time for ourselves. Yeah. And when I look at the human body, I look at the body as a biological body and a spiritual body. And so it's important that we nourish the physical body, but we often forget to nourish our spiritual body. And that spiritual body needs those things to help feed it. And that's doing things that feed the soul, such as going to church, going to a club, going to an organization that you belong. Maybe it's doing something that you love to do. I know everybody can't do yoga and meditation. It is when you're so go, and especially if you are a parent or taking care of somebody, it is go. I haven't been to yoga in 3 weeks because I've been busy taking care of my children and helping out my mom and so forth. But I am still doing things that fill my cup. And those are little things like you could do that you get lost in time doing. For example, maybe you like to play basketball. Maybe you like to crochet, do a puzzle, cook, hang out with certain friends that fill your cup. And there's certain friends, there's good friends that, might not be good influences, but then there are those ones that you just feel lit up when you talk to them and you visit with them for an hour and you're like, whoa, it's only been 5 minutes, but it's an hour. Those are the things or the activities you want to do to help fill your cup. Those are going to help neutralize all of the energies that you're giving off and bounce it out. And that's the whole point of neutralizing. And that's going to help with your stress exponentially. So, Destan, you're nodding. You agree?
Well said. Perfect. Well said.
All right. You guys want to add to that, or can I skip on to the next one?
Remove the toxicity of your life. Toxic people, get them out. Cast them out.
Yes. And also read the book called The Whole Self Detox by Dr. Diana Minnick. She talks exactly about that we feel like we were going to get rid of the toxic things we eat, get rid of the toxic self-talk, the toxic people around you, the toxic work environment. So we should self-detox every season.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next question. Can you recommend any supplements or vitamins to support your hair growth and scalp health?
Can I answer this?
Yeah.
No.
Say that again?
No.
You cannot recommend.
No. No,
Please
I am not giving.
Why? Explain why.
No, I am not gonna recommend. I wish there is a pill that I'm gonna sell to you, and then it's gonna grow your hair. I'll be a billionaire right now, but there is none. This
true.
question I get a lot with the people who connect with me on social media. What shampoo do you use? I was like, it's not about one shampoo or one pill or one supplement. It's about the whole body. This is where we're trying to say on the hair wire for a long, long time, because there is not one single thing that's going to fix the problem. What's going to fix the problem is, first of all, identify what caused the problem. Second of all, test to see, in terms of supplements, test to see what kind of supplements you need. Maybe you don't need any. Maybe you are deficient in all the minerals and the vitamins, not because your diet is deficient in it. It's because your microbiome cannot absorb it. So maybe all your problem is an acid, like acidity in your stomach. So there's a test we do in the functional medicine. It's called the acidity stomach test. You take HCl pills, and if you burp, HCl means your HCl is good. If you don't burp it, the other way around. If you burp it, means that you need more HCl because the stomach needs more acidity to digest the food. And when you digest the food properly, this is when you absorb your nutrients. So no, there is no one pill that fits all. It depends on what you need, and depending on your microbiome, depending on your blood test, depending on the trigger that caused your scalp disorder or hair loss.
Love it. Love it. Okay, this one, Basan, the next one, you're going to love too.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm going to start it off if you're okay with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's pull that one up. What is the most effective treatments for my specific hair and scalp issue?
Yeah. No. Again, there is no one thing fits all. This is why we love Trichology. Trichology is a customized, personalized treatment plan for each client. Come and see me. I can't tell you, just like, I can't answer this question. It's not answerable.
And I can reiterate too, like a lot of times I'll have clients come to me and they're like, yeah, I'm struggling with alopecia.
What should I do?
What should I do? But you know what? There's more than one type of alopecia. What kind of alopecia do you have? Do we know the root cause of this alopecia? Well, no, my doctor said I have alopecia and they gave me minoxidil or they gave me a treatment. well, we cannot solve that or make changes or improve anything if we don't know the root cause of it. All you're doing is band-aiding, causing more issues, and also too, you're not fixing it. And that's what a trichologist does, is we help navigate exactly what the root cause of it is and the type of alopecia you have. And also too, we figure out for you specifically what is going to work for you.
Exactly.
Can't stress that enough.
Exactly. There is not one thing fits all. And this is why we trichologists, we study body systems. It's like they often tell me, why you're talking to me about my liver and I'm here for my hair. It's like they're all connected. If your liver is not detoxing the toxins properly, it's going to overwhelm your system. Your inflammation is going to go high. Your hair, you start losing your hair. It's all connected. So this is why I love trichology, and because it's all body balancing this system. You can be a trichologist actually is a psychiatric, biologist, therapist, all of those things, because this is how much it's going to take to keep your hair.
Okay, next question. This one's for you, Basan.
Yay.
All right. How often should I follow up with you to monitor progress?
As much as possible, minimum 6 weeks span, because when I give you a treatment plan, I will need to know how this treatment plan affecting your body every 6 weeks, because every 6 weeks we may like dial down or tune something in or something out, especially if we have a comprehensive treatment plans. And usually trichologists, we have treatment plans on phases. Like, so phase 1 is first, let's say a person with toxicity, phase 1 will be getting rid of this toxicity. Phase 2 is reinforcing the good bacteria to enhance the microbiome activity. Phase 3 will be addressing nutrient deficiency. The good treatment plan and a good trichologist cannot address all. It should not be addressed all at once, because if you come with me to me with toxicity, I'm not gonna give you a liver detox plan, and I know your blood will show that you have some nutrient deficiency. I'm not gonna address it right now. If I am detoxing your liver, I need your body to calm down and only focus on detoxing your liver. We'll focus on nutrient deficiency after that. It's more important. Put them in priorities. It's the first priority is making your liver functioning properly. Then we will address the other issues depending on priorities, depending on how your body is reacting to it. So 6 weeks is a perfect time. And also I will check in between. Like if at like 2 weeks mark, everything is good. Do you feel different? How different do you feel? After 2 weeks, I will check again in a phone call, like simple phone call. Also, when we check with a simple phone call, it's all feeding the soul, as you said, right? And when we feel good about treatment plan, and if we believe in our trichologist, we believe in our treatment plan, actually it will work better. It's the placebo effect.
Yeah. All right, next question. Are there any specific hairstyling practices or tools I should avoid?
That's yours.
Yeah. You know what? If you have, this is a deep one. But you know what? On our YouTube channel, we go deep on styling practices for hair loss and scalp issues. Now, my big thing is making sure you know how to shampoo correctly and condition correctly. There is a right way, and there are a lot of wrong ways. And so making sure you know how to do that. Also, too, just because you saw it on TikTok and Reels doesn't always mean that it's good for your hair type. The best thing to do is talk to your stylist or your trichologist to find out the best routine for you. One little thing is, like, trichologists will give you a lot of trichology recommendations for shampoos and regimens, but oftentimes it dries the ends of the hair. So a cosmetologist might not be happy about that, but a cosmetologist will use products that might affect the trichology stuff. So it's very important that you're working with both and understanding your regimen and what you're using. And if you want to learn more about this, go back to our YouTube videos. We go deep in this. We have a whole hour where we talk about this specifically. Maybe I'll put the link in the notes. And also, too, styling tools. If you are growing your hair, I work with a lot of people to grow their hair out, and I see a lot of broken, brittle hair and a lot of people treating hair improperly. So if they think that their hair is chemically damaged when in fact it's only dry, and they're doing a keratin protein treatment on their hair, they could cause more damage and more breakage. So it's really understanding your product and talking to the expert on what to use best for you. So that's my spiel in a nutshell. Okay, next question. Sorry. How does my current medication affect my hair and scalp?
Yep.
Did you just add?
Yep. 100% it's going to affect your hair and scalp, especially medications. Don't forget that it's synthetic. All medications are synthetic. They are not natural products from Mother Nature. So whatever chemicals or synthetic fibers, whatever synthetic thing they're using to deal with whatever disease or problem you have, it's gonna have side effects. Even though the side effects are not listed, every person reaction to a certain medication is different. So yes, whenever you start any medication or even you change the dosage of any medication, it's going to affect your hair loss. I am 100% against, and most of time to take medication, because medications usually they are banded to the symptom. Like you take Tylenol to stop the pain or numb the pain, but actually what it's doing is numbing a nerve. One second. What's doing is actually killing the communication. That's what it is. Killing the communication from your brain to your nervous system, so you don't feel the pain, but the pain is still there. So when the pain is still there, it's like increasing your inflammation, putting more stress on your body, because the body is like, something is wrong, but I can't feel it. So you are going against your nature. And this side effects from a simple Tylenol, over-the-counter Tylenol, actually can put stress on your body. If you use it a long period of time, it can cause hair loss, believe me or not. Believe me, Tylenol can actually cause hair loss. So yes, any current medication will affect your scalp microbiome as well, because it's going to affect the acidity or the alkalinity of your body. It's going to throw your pH off. And whenever you throw your pH off, you're going to have kind of bacteria that's growing on your scalp that you never heard before or you never had before.
Yeah.
100%.
100%. All right, next question. This one's for you. Can hormonal changes, such as those during menopause or pregnancy, affect my hair and scalp condition?
That is 100%. That is the number one leading hair loss cause in women. It's either going to be postpartum hair loss, and I'm going to link it to the medication part. Hair loss also starts when women takes contraceptive pills, or even the hormonal IUDs, even the copper IUDs, even start before pregnancy. All these pills are affecting the hair loss because it's throwing off the hormonal balance in your body. Then the woman typically will get pregnant. Pregnancy will affect your hormonal balance. Postpartum, then perimenopause, menopause. Women get through a lot of hormonal imbalances or changes during her lifespan, and that will affect a lot of telogen effluvium episodes. Like maybe every single time it's going to be a different telogen effluvium episode. Add to this that you are not taking care of the base of your nutrients, of your nervous system, and of your immunity, your base, then you're adding exponentially the problem over a problem. We all women were going to go through this, right? Most of the women bear children. Most of the women will have her postpartum hair loss. This is just part of life, and we will all get into perimenopause and menopause. So the point is, we know that it's going to affect hair loss. What we should do, not blame it on menopause. Oh, I'm on menopause. Oh, what I'm going to do? Don't. No, it's not the point of blaming it. It's the point, set back, see what you can do under your control. What is under your control is your eating habits, is your lifestyle changes, is your taking care of your body, taking care of your mental health, taking care of your emotional health. And this will really exponentially add to the health of your hair. And one more thing, just to add to the subject, our hair, as we said before, it's a non-essential tissue. So whatever changes happen in your body, it's going to first thing affect your hair. So in a way, it's a good sign that you know there's something you have to take care of, but also you really need to take care of your body so you keep your hair.
Nailed that one. Next question. I think you'll like this one. What are the signs that indicate I should seek immediate professional help for my hair and scalp condition?
Every time you lose your hair, Don't wait until it is way too late. The minute you see changes in your hair loss pattern, please, or not hair loss pattern, shedding pattern. Sorry, shedding is different than hair loss. Shedding. For example, we shed normally on average, every person sheds on average 100 hair strands a day. That's
And
normal.
you have seasonal hair shedding too.
Say
Like
that again?
seasonal hair as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
every person is different.
consideration. Yeah.
Correct. And every person is different. Even you will shed little bit more hair before your period, little bit less hair after your period, depending on your hormonal changes as well. So you know your pattern. Maybe for me normal is 30 hairs a day. For Carrie is 40 hairs a day. It's just this is our normal depending on the density, depending on the hair structure, how long your hair, because the longer your hair, it looks more, but it's not more. It's just looks more like that. So depending, if whenever you see the shedding started to increase without an obvious reason to you, and increase or like double overnight, this is when you want to really go see a trichologist. Don't wait until you start seeing baldness. This is at that point it may be too late, because when the hair follicles are dead, or it's really hard to, when the hair follicles are dead, nobody can bring them back. But if they are weak, or they're starting to be weaker, this is when a trichologist can help revive these hair follicles to survive.
Oh, you don't have a mic. You need sound.
Here I am. Sorry.
What happened to you, Sergio?
I said I wanted to add something about it. There are different trichologists with different levels of expertise. Now, this is something that, one of the chats that I'm seeing, I was seeing someone ask, is it good to visit a trichologist? Are there any good? And the opinions are very, how we say, different. And fortunately, the level of expertise of every trichologist is different. And you have to be aware of the person who you rely on to seek out for the health of your scalp and hair. And the same thing goes with dermatologists. Not every dermatologist is scalp hair expert. So you have to look at the person who you're visiting and see their credentials and see what their expertise are, and find out what are their philosophies. I mean, you can see many of the people who are doing actually hair. They do social media. They like to do give out information, so you will know what to expect out of that person. So I will do my due diligence whenever I'm seeking out for a professional, and see what they look like. In terms of not what they look like, but what do they think like? What is their approach when it comes to hair loss issues? And definitely looking for professional help is the best thing that anyone can do for their hair. It's the best thing that you can do. Period. Just want to add that.
Yeah, and also preventative measures too. Why wait until you have hair loss or scalp disorders to see a trichologist? Prevent that before it starts.
Yes. I mean, particularly if you know that you have a family history of hair loss,
Exactly.
there's a chance that at some point you might develop androgenetic alopecia, let's say, but maybe you never will. But if you take preventative measurements, hey, you can keep the heritage you have.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when people with breast cancer history in their family, they do mammograms diligent.
Yeah.
So if you it's the same thing. If you have genetic hair loss, go examine your scalp.
All right. Next question, you guys. This is the last question. I think we really need to answer this one. This one's a critical one, and a lot of people never consider this one. Now, what role does hydration play in the hair and scalp health? And how much water should I be drinking daily? Now, there is evidence that dehydration does cause and contribute to hair loss and to overproduction and underproduction of oils on the scalp. Now, a lot of times people will be like, well, I drink a lot of fluids, I have a lot of fluids, but you also have to, and the water intake for everybody is different. A lot of people are like, oh, drink 8 glasses of water, eat 12 glasses of water, and make sure you get enough water. honestly, the best way to monitor your hydration, and this is coming from my hematologist because I have a rare blood condition. I have to make sure I'm hydrated all the time because it affects my coagulation levels. So my hematologist recommends is the best way to monitor how much water intake or hydration that you're having is to monitor your urine. That's right. Your urine is a huge marker for you to understand how hydrated or dehydrated you are. So the more yellow your urine is, the more dehydrated you are. So it's very important that you increase the amount of water. As I know, in this busy world, it's hard for us to count how many bottles or how many glasses and jugs of water that you have. And I know there's little alarms to remind you to drink. But if you cognitively are aware that when you go to the bathroom and your urine is bright yellow, you need water. You need fluid. Drink up. Now, if you also too are drinking a lot of fluid and you are finding that it's still bright yellow, then the other option would be is that you are lacking in minerals. So the best thing that you can do is increase or add some high quality salt to your diet. So for myself, if I'm dehydrated, I might add for myself, I love the flavor of Celtic salt, so I'll put more Celtic salt on my food. Of course, in moderation, because not a lot of salt, it's not good for you all the time, but to season your food. But if I know that I'm dehydrated and I'm lacking mineral, that's usually the first mineral I'll go to. Sergio Basan, do you guys want to add to that?
Yeah. Biz, want to jump into this one first?
Yeah, it's just this is exactly what I do. I put Celtic salt and the squeeze of lemon in my water to make it to because lemon will make my body alkaline, especially if when a person has a lot of inflammation and the toxicity around us will make our body more acidic. So it's really important that we early in the morning prepare our body with some alkalinity so it can defend itself from all the acid stuff, like especially red meat. I eat a lot of red meat. It's very, very acidic. Coffee is very, very acidic. So in a way, I'm not going to say I'm not going to eat meat or coffee because they're acidic. No, I'll just have a squeeze of lemon, preventative measures. So, and also cellular hydration. As you said, if you have if you have lacking in minerals, the water you will drink it, it will go out. It's not going into your cells, into your tissues. That's why mineralizing your water is important, especially we don't have spring water. Who has spring water? Like, I would love to drink spring water. It's very rare, right? We drink city water, and city water is very chemicalized. So filter your water. This is very important to have a really good filter in your house, and remineralize your water yourself to get optimum cellular hydration. No cellular hydration, no good hair, no good sebum. Sebum is Sergio. Go ahead.
Yeah, and whenever we talk about toxic sebum, that's when it all hell breaks loose. Now, one of the things that I wanted to mention about hydration is that we have a lot of people, like you were mentioning, carrying these jugs of water everywhere and drinking plenty of water, and that's good, but excessive drinking of water can also push out some of your minerals, like for instance potassium. I've seen a lot of people going to ER because of their potassium is extremely low. Why? Because they're drinking plenty of water, excessively amounts of water. They are so into water that they're overdoing it. And there's a thing called balance. That's what we want to share with you guys. It's all about balance. Balance your body, balance yourself, and get your hair back. That's
Ooh, I love that. I love this ending. Love it.
it. Well, I think this is the end of today's show, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Please go to our website, thehairwire.com, thehairwire.com. Visit our YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the like button, and of course, be every Wednesday between 11.
No,
No,
like usually
according
around
to the
noon.
one.
Yeah, noon to 1. Yeah, yeah.
Or if you're in Canada around northern, it would be late mid morning.
Yeah, mid. Yeah, maybe in the noonish area.
Noonish. Noonish. I love our noonish.
We're human. We're fluid with our time.
Yeah. Hey, we try to make it on time, but sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So, but stay tuned always to the Hair Wire. Stay tuned, and always hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will know when we go live. All right, that's the way to do it. We'll see you next week. God bless you all. Till then, bye bye.